Here is a list of some important facts you need to know. Malaysia currently has an economic push which was initiated by the current Prime Minister, and it's called the Economic Transformation Program. The goal is to transform Malaysia into a multi-sector economy with less vulnerability in the global economy and reduce its dependence on exports.
Here's some important dates you should know. In 1826, the colony of Straits was founded by Great Britain. In 1895, they formed the Federated States of Malay. They gained their independence in 1957. However, in 2009, there was an economic decline in which foreign workers were restricted from working and government economic intervention was prevalent.
The official language of Malaysia is nicknamed Malay, and it is spoken in all areas. Some indigenous languages still exist as well as Chinese dialects. English is taught in schools starting at a young age. The official religion is Islam, and 61% of the population is Muslim and actively practice the 5 pillars of Islam. In Bintulu specifically, there is more diversity as some non-Malays identify with a variety of religions. Zain was in Malaysia as a Mormon missionary, traveling all over the country for 2 years. Some of the population is derived from the indigenous tribes, such as the Iban tribe from the jungles who come into port to work the oil industry. Men work 5 to 6 days a week, sometimes every day, while the women are household caretakers. Home is long houses away from the city, a multi-generational community living. The food consumed is mostly fresh fruit and rice. The meat could be chicken or sometimes fish curry for special occasions. Most of the children go through secondary school, but in their free time they play games like soccer, marbles, or takraw, which is a game like volleyball except you can only use your feet. The main meal is dinner, where everyone sits around in a circle on the floor and passes food around like a social event. Because of this, we wanted to focus on a food item to bring here to the United States. That's when Camden had an idea.
Pea steamed buns are a popular dish that have not yet entered the United States. By altering our business model, we would be able to successfully implement a product launch. When implementing this product, our 3 key customer segments will be the U.S. Muslim population, millennials who are seeking new foods while maintaining health, and are likely to be middle class on the assumption that the middle class will have more expendable income and be willing to try new things. In terms of our relationships, we need to build transparency and accessibility of our product through reviews and transparent labeling, as well as look for a way to certify halal. However, this is difficult in the US because of a lack of a central authority. In terms of our channels, we would focus heavily on social media marketing in order to gain brand recognition. We would also continue the tradition of PA Foods of utilizing business-to-business distribution channels. In terms of our key activities, we would have to control the supply line while marketing to our grocers and consumers simultaneously, as well as producing FDA certified and halal certified food. We would do this and add value to our customers via freshness, a specialty product, and most importantly, accessibility to working families who would be looking for fresh frozen foods in order to serve their families on nights that they would be stuck at work. While PA Food does not disclose a lot of their key partners, it is plausible to assume that we would need a partnership with suppliers of FDA meats and ingredients, the FDA, JAKIM, the Halal Certifying Board, the National Groceries Association, and independent grocery stores in order to successfully launch a product. When entering the market, our key resources would include our shelving physical location, intellectual in terms of our brand trademarks and certifications, facility for supply chain control, and the inevitable human and financial resources. As a consumer food product, our revenue streams are based on asset sales, with a fixed pricing dependent on the customer segment, such as a wholesaler or directly to a business. In terms of our cost structure, we're not looking to develop economies of scale or scope during our infancy, but instead are going to focus on competitive pricing to gain market share. And of course, there would be our rich points. With a product as specific as halal sticky buns, we anticipated a few rich points or barriers to entry that we were prepared to overcome. Where to introduce the product? Obviously, we want to bring a Muslim product to the US city with a large enough Muslim population that we could find success and cater to the needs of a specific marketplace, as is often the goal of a marketer. So we decided that we would do test marketing in Dearborn, Michigan, which has the highest Muslim population in the United States. We would test our product out there and determine our potential for expansion after 6 months. Barrier 2. Once we determined where to introduce the product, we knew we had to run into the problem of how to introduce it. Common barriers to niche products Entering a new market are how to obtain shelving space and negotiate with grocers to convince them that this product is worth putting on their shelves or in a prime location. We will begin negotiations with the National Grocers Association using facts, figures, and testimonies from Zain and his connections to Bintulu to convince the NGA and 1 to 2 small independent grocers in Dearborn that they need the halal streams to increase the revenue and increase goodwill among Muslim populations. Our last barrier, and perhaps the most complex, would be the issue of authority, specifically receiving FDA and halal certifications. We will begin with working with PA Foods, who has had more experience with authority. Ourselves, along with PA Foods, will talk about the Islamic Center for Halal certification to ensure that we are meeting halal standards. We will also be working with the local Muslims to ensure that we are meeting their ideal standards for both quality, taste, and halalness.